There can only be one winner, and you're looking at him. Let's go.
Elemental Hero Core. Where do you get this card? On DuelLinksMeta.com, you can click Farming and Events. Spunky Jaden drops Elemental Hero Core. Let's talk about him. What does he do? Elemental Hero Core requires 3 Elemental Hero monsters, any Elemental Hero monsters, to be fused to create core. So how are we going to summon it? We're going to use Polymerization, or we're going to use Miracle Fusion. Miracle Fusion is a new ultra rare from the latest box. You could use monsters on your field and or graveyard to summon it, and this will be the main way to summon it. Now, once per turn, when this card is targeted for an attack, you can make this card's attack become double its current attack until the end of the damage step. That means your opponent cannot attack into it unless they are bigger than 5,400 attack. With just one monster though, because it is only once per turn. Now, if Elemental Hero Core successfully battles, at the end of the battle phase, it could target any monster on the field and destroy it. And then finally, when this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you could target one level 8 or lower Elemental Hero Fusion monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So the level 8 or lower fusion monsters that we will be summoning with Elemental Hero Core when it dies will be Elemental Hero Gaia, or Elemental Hero Nova Master. Nova Master requires an Elemental Hero plus a fire monster to fusion summon it. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you draw one card. Gaia requires an Elemental Hero monster plus an Earth monster. When this card is fusion summoned, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Their monster attacks is halved, and you gain that amount that it halved by. Essentially, a 2200 direct attack if there's only one monster on the field. To create Nova, the fire Elemental Hero we're using is Blaze Man. In addition to Blaze Man being a fire elemental hero, on summon, it could search for Polymerization, or once per turn, it could send another elemental hero to the graveyard. Its second effect is very good with Miracle Fusion. If you have no cards in your grave, on your first summon of Blaze Man, you send any elemental hero from your deck to the grave, and you now have a live Miracle Fusion. But be very careful with this effect. He cannot send himself to the graveyard, and any monster he sends to the graveyard, he will become that attribute. So if you were to send a Neos Alias, Blaze Man would become a light monster and 1900 attack, which means you cannot use Miracle Fusion, since you would have 2 light elemental hero monsters, which creates nothing for now. Hopefully in the near future, we get a card called Elemental Hero The Shining, which requires an elemental hero and a light monster. That would make this deck so much better, and it would also make Miracle Fusion an incredible card. But for now, we're gonna have to make do with what we have, which means sending Alias of Blaze Man is not a good idea if that's gonna be your only 2 elemental heroes. Now, if you send Wild Heart, your Blaze Man will be Earth, so you could Miracle Fusion for an instant Gaia. We're using Wild Heart as the Earth. He is unaffected by traps. And the great thing about Wild Heart is when used with our skill, he is basically a 2500 attack monster that is unaffected by traps. What is our skill? We are using Where the Heroes Dwell. Can be used after your life points are at 3000 or below. You get to play the field spell Skyscraper onto the field. When an elemental hero monster attacks, if its attack is smaller than your opponent's monster, it gains 1000 attack. To help trigger the skill, we're playing 2 Cosmic Cyclones and 3 Mirror Walls. Why are we using Neos Alias? Pretty much just because it's 1900 attack. If you want to, you could replace Neos Alias with Elemental Hero Heat, which is an 1800 attack monster when by itself, and 2000 if there's another monster next to it. It's also a fire, so you would be able to instantly send it with Blaze, and then you're able to make Nova Master. So one of my favorite things to do with this deck is normal summon Blaze Man, search for Poly, use Poly with a monster in our hand and the Blaze Man on the field, create a Nova Master, and then if anything happens to Nova Master, I could then follow up with a Miracle Fusion into an Elemental Hero Core. Even more ideal is if we do not have to use Nova Master as part of the fusion summon for our Elemental Hero Core, we are then able to special summon Nova Master if anything were to happen to our Elemental Hero Core. Now, for as much as I love using Mirror Wall to trigger the skill, if you are struggling against Kokamiro Maximus, you can take out the wall for a Canadia or Floodgate, which will also be good for flipping down a summoned Urn Knight. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the deck. I hope you enjoyed the highlights, you fools!
Duel! Duel!